All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before we dive to this class lesson, giving all honor, no glory, no praise is due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors the great millstone, utter apostle, teaching with will. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect that scatter abroad, they're like the other nations. Shalom, shalom. And a shalom to the Sir Akim that's out there making a body. I love a sacrifice, going out there in the highways, byways, and hedges, proclaiming his truth and teaching 100% truth. Keep doing so to those who may be. And the shalom to the Sir Aquafium that's out there, brothers and husbands, being a pillar of rest. Keep doing so to those who may be. Shalom, shalom. And the shalom to those that's tuning in to this class lesson. This is GMS, St. Louis GMS, coming back at it again with another class. And today's class lesson is basically going over the mark of Cain. And so like before we start that, Yahweh as being the Heavenly Father, which the word English calls God, and Bahashem meaning the name of, Yahweh Shai being only begotten Son, that Heavenly Father, which the word English calls him Jesus Christ, which his name means in the ancient Hebrew Hebrew, he is the Savior. Okay, and those are the true names of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. So today's lesson is basically going into the mark of Cain, and basically how that the Edomites are the main people that is given that mark and to be identified of a people cursed, and they are cursed without melanin. They are easy to identify. And this video, quite sure Akim seen this video uh, lots of times over the course of years and things like that. This video right here basically the Book of Mormon basically describes the people that came down to earth or fell, the angels that fell down to earth or whatnot, was cursed with dark skin. But the real problem with this is that they try to make it seem like to have melanated skin is a curse. But the reason why Esau made something like this because he wants something to make him feel good, because he knows that he's the only people on the planet that doesn't have melanin on their skin, and they are easier to identify, So without further ado, we're gonna play this video, get a little couple seconds or a minute out of this, and you're gonna see the point that I'm saying. So we're just gonna play it.
As on other planets. The vote that followed approved the proposal of the Mormon Jesus, who would become savior of the planet Earth. Enraged, Lucifer cunningly convinced 1/3 of the spirits destined for Earth to fight with him in revolt. Thus Lucifer became the devil and his followers the demons. Sent to this world, they would forever be denied bodies of flesh and bone. Those who remained neutral in the battle were cursed to be born with black skin. This is the Mormon explanation for the Negro race. The spirits that fought most valiantly against Lucifer would be born into Mormon families on planet Earth. These would be the lighter-skinned people, or white and delightsome, as the Book of Mormon describes them.
So as you hear the bullshit, that Esau tries to portray of having how the so-called Negro race came about. They was cast out of heaven and basically they was cursed with dark skin, which is really not the case, because when you go into the scriptures, we're gonna go ahead and jump to Genesis, what's this, 1 in verse 27. You want to read that for me?
And it says, so the powers created man in his own image, in the image of the powers created he him. Male and female created he them.
Right. And the Lord created, especially the Israelite man, his own image, And what is the image of the Lord? Is melanated skin, And especially the Israelite man, basically being the image of Yahweh Shai, Because at the end of the day, you Edomites are not the image of the Lord. You're not the image of what a man's supposed to look like. If you want to be technical, you're the total opposite of what what a human is supposed to look like. Because what does hue mean? To have melanin, to be melanated. So when the Lord created man in his own image, it's perfection, And the Israelite man is that perfected form of the Lord, you know, because we are blessed to have melanated skin, you know. So if you go into that Wisdom of Solomon, okay.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 2, and we're going to start at the 23rd verse. It says, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, in verse 23, it says, "For God, power created man to be immortal, and he made him to be an image of his own eternity."
Right. And once again, the image of the Lord is perfection, you know, and the Israelite man is the standard, you know, to have melanated skin, you know, woolly hair, you know, and stuff like that. But how Esau flip things around to have white skin, you know, to be unmelanated, you know, to look like an abomination, you know, and look what our people go through to basically to fit in with you Edomites. They bleach their skin, you know, they change the color of their hair, you know, they want to have straight dog hair like you, you know. That's why the Lord said, "Envy not your oppressor, and choose none of his ways," man. Because the way of the heathen is low level, man. So when the Lord created man in his own image, that's to be perfect, you know. So how the Lord created the Israelites from the beginning was perfect, man. Going all the way back to Adam, you know. That's the perfect, that's what a man's supposed to look like. Perfect. You know, to have melanin. You know, and all the tribes of Israel have melanin, you know. But you do have some brothers and sisters that don't have their melanin, but in the kingdom they will get their melanin back, you know. But the thing is, when you look at that video, you know, it tried to deter and tear down what basically make us look like we the bad people, you know. But in actuality, you know, you flip things around, you Edomites are really the bad people, man. You know, you are the ones cursed, you know, you easily to spot out within the earth, you know. So when you made that video, you know, you basically try to make it seem like, you know, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics and Native Americans, them having melanated skin, they evil, you know. But it's okay though, man. That's why the Lord blessed us with the knowledge of wisdom, understanding of these scriptures to be able to go through these scriptures to identify who the true enemy is, man. And it's you Edomites, man. Okay? You the only people that's born with unmelanated skin, and we can see, you know, the blood through your faces. You know, we can see you turn green when you get sick. You know, when you getting choked, you turn blue, purple. You know, so you want to call us the colored people. You really are the colored people, man. Okay? Um, go ahead and get that Revelations 4, Dr. Shaw. You can start at verse 1.
You said 1, right?
Revelation 4, verse 1, Salaki.
I can get it. Revelation chapter 4, verse 1 is like, "After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. And immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone."
Right. You know, so when you look up what a jasper, okay, it's like a brown, you know, a very rich brown. Hold up. You click on images. Okay. It's like a very rich brown, you know. So when you look at the Heavenly Father, which this is what they're describing, you know, is giving you a depiction of what the Lord looks like, you know. So when it says, "And he that sat to look upon like a jasper and sardine stone," what John was seeing, you know, was the skin tone of the Lord. And the Lord, Yahweh, has a melanated skin complexion, you know. So when you go back into, you know, Genesis 1 and 27, So the powers created man in his own image, and that image, that the Lord created the Israelite man in, you know, to have melanin. And then you have the other nations that was back then too. They have melanin too, you know. But we was mainly talking about the so-called Negro race that's spoken about in the Book of Mormon's video, you know. So when you go into the meat of this, we are those people that have that is created in the image of the Lord, man. You know, to be perfect, to be upright in the spirit, you know, to be set apart upon all from all the other nations, because we don't behave like you other nations. We don't do the same things as you other nations, especially you Edomites. You know, we are set apart from y'all, man. We are a holy people unto the Lord. Okay? Perfect people, you know. But as of right now, we are in a low condition, but at the same time the Lord still deals with us, you know. Because what we can't do, as far as us being under the law, statute, and commandments, we can't eat certain things. We eat certain things that cause a bad reaction within us. Because we supposed to be a perfect people, you know. So when the Lord created man in his own image, is to be perfect and upright and righteous, you know. So, God, I'll tell you to get that Genesis.
If I could say real fast, notice how I said jasper and the sardine stone.
Mm-hmm.
Because you do have like some form of jasper that's green, but most jasper and sardine stones are brown.
Mm-hmm.
Especially a sardine stone. Primarily, a sardine stone is brown, so that's how you can't get it mixed up with the Lord was green or something like that. No,
Right.
the Lord was dark skin.
Right.
So-called black man, brown.
That's right. So when he created man in his own image, is to have that same hue, that the perfection, you know. Go and get that Genesis 2:7. Go ahead.
This is Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. It reads, "And the Lord power formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul."
Right. This scripture, is twofold. Brought man out of that confused like state, and breathed the breath of life, which is the knowledge and wisdom, understanding of the scriptures, But also, if you look at, the dust, and you look at the ground, what color is the ground? It's brown. The deeper you go into the soil, the more darker it gets, So the Israelites come in different kind of shades of brown, So, yeah. Because, hey, at the end of the day, we the only people that fit this, Because, hey, we are breathing that breath of life as of right now, with the knowledge and wisdom, understanding of the scriptures within us, So, yeah, that's it.
Back up, Slocky. Go to that picture that you had with the stones, and I think you had the scripture on there, right?
Where is that?
That one. So Revelation on it.
Yeah, God, yeah.
So, and that tells you again, that's what it's in comparison to.
Yep, and then it got Daniel 7 and 9 says the Ancient of Days did sit. It says the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hairs of his head was like wool, pure wool. What other people has hair like woolly hair, man? So yeah, you Edomites be trying to demonize, Jake, man, every single day. You try to make yourselves look like you are the perfect people, but in actuality, you really not, man. Okay? But we had to touch on, the first part, how the image of the Lord, is melanated skin, and that's how the Israelites are meant to be a perfect people, you know. That was it on that Genesis 2. Brother Rod, can you give me Genesis This is 4 and verse. Start at verse 5.
Alright, Genesis 4, verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou do well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which have over her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord Yahweh, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord Yahweh set a mark upon Cain, lest any man finding him should kill him.
Right. And that mark, is the Lord tagging him with leprosy, for him to be able to be identified, because if you look around, especially back then in these times, everyone had melanin on their skin, so just to see someone walking around white as snow, it's like, damn, what the hell is wrong with him? That's a sight to be like, hey man, something ain't right with you, man. You walking around, your hair white as snow, your skin white as snow, you don't have no pigmentation on you, man. So you are easier to identify and point out, So when you go into this, that mark is that leprosy that the Lord put upon, Cain. And then when you go into the book of Genesis 25, which Brother Howard Shaw, can you get that for me, Brother Shaw?
What did you say, Genesis what?
25 and verse 25, that mark carried over to when he was Esau, because, hey, when Jacob came out, he came out, regular, he had, regular melanated skin. Esau come out, it's like, damn, what the hell is this,
Right. If you don't mind, can I start at the 24 verse?
Go ahead.
Okay, this is Genesis 25, chapter, starting at the 24th verse, and it says, And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in our womb. Okay, and this is going into when Rebecca was about to deliver. Is it Rebecca? Yeah, Rebecca was about to give birth to Jacob and Esau. Okay, and the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Okay.
Yeah. And Esau's name means to wasted away, man. What wasted away? His melanin, man. So when he came out, he was easier to be identified, versus Jacob, you continue reading on.
This is at the 26th verse. It says, And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
And right, and that's symbolic of Jacob pulling Esau out of power. That's written in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. Keep going. Verse 27.
And verse 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
Right. And you know, Esau fitting that nature of him being, you know, in the fields, being an Edomite, you know, hunting and things like that. But Jacob was a plain man, you know, smooth, you know. He had melanated skin. Esau didn't, you know. So that mark of Cain followed into it when he was Esau, you know. So he's still living out that curse that the Lord put upon him. Because still to this point, you know, when you go back into this, the Lord called him a vagabond and a fugitive for what he did in the garden, or what he did to his brother Salaki. And then going back to the garden when he was a serpent, you know. So the Lord made sure you devils were able to be pointed out and be easily spotted, you know. Because I know brothers bring it out all the time. I know Brother DeWatt always said, you know, hey, a serpent's best, how you say it again?
A serpent's best weapon is camouflage.
Exactly.
You know, because he's the most effective when you don't see him.
Exactly.
And now you can see him coming now.
Exactly. And the Lord setting that mark upon him, you should be able to identify who is the devil, you know, who is Satan in the flesh now, you know, who is adverse to what the image of Yahweh Shemi Shai is, man. Okay? So, yeah, man, that just go to show you, man, like Esau, his melanin wasted away, the Lord cursed him, you know, and he set a mark upon him, you know. And the Lord basically said right here, you know, right here, and Yahweh said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. Yahweh set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. You know, so hey, the Lord basically set you devils up to the point where the Lord said, I'm gonna deal with y'all. Okay? So you devils keep on doing these things that you're doing in the earth, you know, trying to make Jake look like they the true problem of the earth, you know, having melanated skin, because that's a damn lie that you taught to our people, man, to hate themselves, man. You know, want our people to bleach their skin, dye their hair. You know, you teaching our people self-hatred, man. You know, and that's a problem that you got to pay for, man. You know, like Michael Jackson's, you know, he bleached his skin, man, and he ain't the only one that did that. You know, you got a lot of celebrities that did that, man.
Lil Kim, Sammy Sosa. Well, I'm thinking I think Nicki Minaj did it too.
Yeah, that's self-hatred, man.
Yeah, she wasn't that late when she first came up. And before all the plastic surgery.
Yeah, man. That's why, once again, why the Lord said, envy not your oppressor. What is there to be jealous over an Edomite about, man? Now when you read these scriptures about his melanin being wasted away, you know, to have leprosy is a curse, you know, which we gonna get there in the law. You know, to have melanin, you are defiled, man. So you Edomites are basically walking around defiled all the time, man, because you lack melanin. You was marked with leprosy. You got something, brother? Right?
Well, just the word, like I looked at the word mark up in the blue letter, when it says mark of Cain, and that word mark is awat, which means a sign, signal, a distinguishing mark. So it just goes to show you that, you know, in the Old Testament, you got to look up words because the word mark isn't always the same word. You know what I'm saying? So you got we know the famous Ezekiel chapter 9. That word mark is
Thawah.
I believe, exemption from judgment. But if you go to Mark in Genesis 4, it says a sign, a signal. So that mark means that the Most High put a sign on them, put a signal on them. So that just adds more to the fact that clearly what the Lord put on Cain was a sign or a signal for the world to know. So it wasn't talking about an actual, you know what I'm saying, like the definition of mark was a sign or a signal. We call it mark because what the scripture says, but that just shows you that you got to look up words because the word mark in English it'll say mark, but you got to go to the word to see exactly what it means. You know?
Yep, there goes our third sign, signal, a distinguishing mark. You know, and you Edomites do have a distinguishment mark, which is you mark with leprosy. You know, you are easier to identify. All right. Um, go ahead and get something in the law, or well, with Moses when he put his hand in his bosom, brother. The can you give me Exodus 4 and 6?
Exodus 4 and 6, and it reads, And the Lord said furthermore unto him, Put now thy hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
Right. So when Moses did this, his hand came out leprous as snow. You got to question and be like, what was the rest of his skin complexion like? Now, if you continue reading,
Verse 7, and he said, Put thy hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
Right. And what was his other flesh? With melanin, man. Okay. So that's how you know, like, what the image of the Lord is. You know, is to have melanated skin. You know. But we do get there are brothers and sisters out here that don't have that. Because wherever their mother is, however that went abroad, once again, you brothers and sisters are gonna get your pigmentation, your melanin back in the kingdom, because I know that's a stumbling block for a lot of Israelites out here. They'll see, so-called Israelite that looks like a other nation, but they not trying the spirit by the spirit. They instantly just go off rip. Man, you ain't an Israelite, you ain't one of us. You don't got melanated skin, which that's a stumbling block, because you got to be able to try the spirit by the spirit, to really recognize like, okay, this is a brother right here. That's why when Lord comes back, when the Lord sends the angels are going to decipher that, separate the wheats from the tares, because you got a lot of wheats that look like the other nations, man. You got tares that look like us, and the Lord's going to do a separating of that, okay? But as of right now, we dealing with, what the mark of Cain is, and basically what that is, and how the image of the Lord is perfection, and how the Israelite man is that perfection, because he created us in his image, okay? You Edomites are adverse to that. You are what not to be, okay? Your ways and how you look are what not to be like, okay? So I did some looking up, why don't albino animals survive in the wild? And basically, albino is basically another form of leprosy, So it says, do albino animals get shunned? It says this can make it difficult for albino predators to catch prey. The animal's pale skin also puts it at higher risk of developing melanoma. In some cases, researchers have found albino animals shunned by other animals within their species, particularly when it comes to mating. Even animals got, enough sense to be like, there's something wrong with you. You don't got, there's something off about you. So how much more when it comes to, Jacob and Esau, So even animals have melanin. So when animals see something like that, they don't really particularly try to mate with that, because it's basically what you would call abomination. Even though animals are not held under the law, but animals still, don't deal with animals that have a lack of pigmentation, because that's a gene defect. It's a defect. So yeah, even animals do the same thing. And I also looked up, do animals have melanin? It says yes. Many animals have melanin, a dark biological pigment that gives color to their skin, hair, eyes, feathers, scales, and some internal membranes. Melanin is produced by specialized cells and called nocytes through a series of chemical and enzymatic reaction. It comes in two forms: in melanin, which produce black to gray colors, and a phenomenon which produces yellow to red colors. Okay, and that also, this basically goes into how tigers got their stripes, how jaguars got spots and stuff like that. Because when you shave a tiger down to its skin, it goes into its skin. That them tiger stripes goes into its skin. Same with a jaguar. It goes into its skin. It's just not its fur. It goes into its skin. So if a jaguar or a tiger has albino or leprosy, it's a birth defect. You know, so you Edomites, going back to dealing with humans, you Edomites have a birth defect, which is lacking melanin. Which that is abomination. That's leprosy. Okay, and that's not a good look. You know, because you are defiled. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the law. Is Brother Todd's one? Can you give me Leviticus 13? And, start at verse 1.
Leviticus 13 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, when a man shall have in the skin of his flesh arising a scab or bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of his sons the priest. And the priest shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy, and the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. Keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Verse 4, if the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and his sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut up him that hath the plague 7 days.
Right. And right here, this is in the law. If you have any form of leprosy that goes into the skin, you are pronounced unclean. Okay. Basically, that is abomination. So, yeah, so you Edomites are basically marked with that plague of leprosy, man. You walk around with blonde hair, blue eyes, which having blue eyes, that is a defect as well, man. But to this world, people having blue eyes, and that's a beauty, In actuality, that's a defect, man. Really having brown eyes or any kind of melanin in your eyes is basically perfection. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, man, that right there just go to show you, like, even within the animal kingdom, just having those defects, albinoism, just like it was a albino alligator. It couldn't even survive. It's an article on it. It couldn't even survive in the wild, man. Because it couldn't catch its prey because it's easy to be spotted. Just imagine you antelope in the wild, and you just see this white thing just floating up to the water to you. That's easily to be spotted. Versus the alligator that has its pigmentations is hard to spot. So to have the total opposite of what the image of the Lord is abomination. You Edomites are cursed. You are given that mark of Cain, or to have that mark, so you are easy to identify. And for you to put that video out there, which they say is banned, but you can still look it up, that's a shame, man. You put that lie out there to make it seem like having dark skin is an abomination, but in actuality, it's the reverse. To have white as snow skin, that's an abomination. Okay. Brothers can, what is it? I think it's down here. Anybody can you give me Numbers what's this, 12, and start at verse. Start at verse 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Numbers 12:1. It reads, "And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, Hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and said, spoke unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, Come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam. And they both came forth. And he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and the whole Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron stood, sloppy. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous.
Right. And you gotta imagine like how Aaron probably looked at her afterwards, you know. He's probably like, what the hell? You know? Like that would have been scary, man. You know, she whited, her melanin is gone. And that's going to show you, like, you know, she had hue on her. She had melanin on her. But because she spoke out against Moses, you know, with the Ethiopian woman, you know, hey, the Lord took her melanin away. Like, man, that's scary. Because that means she can't participate in none of the high holy days, no nothing. Because she's defiled, you know? And that's going to show you, man, you got to fear the Lord, man. You know? The Lord can take your melanin away, you know, now you walking around here defiled now, man. You know? That's scary. And this is also a lesson to you women, you know, to keep your damn mouth closed, man. That was a lesson to her. Now she didn't have no melanin. But in today's society, if she's a walk around, you know, she'd get praised for having such as that decrepit skin tone, man. You know? Now, once again, this lesson is not to deter you brothers, you know, that are dealing with that issue of, you know, your mother probably a different nation, you know, you probably took on her skin tone and stuff like that. It's not to deter you from the truth, you know, it's to just going in this for edification's sake, you know. It's just to put the reminder out there, you know, like, you know, the Edomites are the main people that don't have, that's not the real image of the Lord. You know, because in the kingdom that we are going to inherit under Yahweh Shai, the Israelite man is going to be the image in that kingdom. Just as of right now, who's the image of this kingdom? The Edomite man. You know, shaven beard, you know, bald head, you know, suit and tie. You know, that's the image of this kingdom. You know, to look effeminate. You know, no offense to brothers that got to deal with that. You know, but hey, we in the land of our captivity. But in the kingdom, you know, we gonna be able to have our, you know, our beards. You know, brothers gonna have their melanin back. You know, the afros and all that. You know, that's gonna be the image of the that's gonna be the image of the kingdom. You know, what you think the heathen's gonna be doing? You know, you're gonna be rocking the beard in the kingdom, man. There ain't gonna be no more clean shaven face. You know, you're gonna have a beard because what does a beard stand for? Is a badge of honor. Okay. But to have lacking melanin, you Edomites surely try to make it seem like having dark skin is a bad thing. But in actuality, when you look up what does melanin do? Does melanin do? Okay. It says melanin is a natural substance that performs several biological functions, including melanin giving his skin, eyes, and hair their color. Different types of melanin, such as eumelanin and phenylalanine, produce different colors. For example, high levels of eumelanin can result in darker hair, while low levels can result in blonde hair. And phenylalanine can produce yellow, red, and pink hues. Okay, it says photo protection. Melanin absorbs harmful ultraviolet rays from the sun, including UVA and UVB and UVC, and spreads them out in the top layer of the skin to prevent damage deeper within the protect cells for sun damage, such as burns, and reduce elasticity, which can lead to premature aging. People with more melanin in their skin have lower risk of sunburn and skin cancer. When the skin is exposed to sunlight, it produces more melanin to protect itself, which causes a tan. That the tan fades as new cells move to surface and the tan cells are slowed off. Okay? And it says neuromelanin. This type of melanin controls the color of neurons, which are nerve cells that send messages throughout the body, and it may help also prevent cell death in parts of the brain. Okay? So, hey, what's the point of us putting it on sunblock, man? The Lord already blessed us to be able to be in the sun. Well, you Edomites, you got to put on the cheap knockoff. The sun, the suntan lotion, which on the it's a video out there. I don't know where I can find it. There was some Edomites on the beach. They was putting on some suntan lotion, and when you look at it on the I don't know what kind of camera it was. It basically, UV camera. It basically just showed their skin turning dark. So it's just a knockoff version of melanin, man. Artificial melanin, which you Edomites wish you had that, man. You are per doing. I'm trying to find this video real quick. I don't got no more scriptures. If brothers got precept, feel free. Woman, German. Yeah, because when I saw this, man, I laughed. I gotta find it. Here we go.
When the sawdust settles and the engine finally roars, the thing.
And you Edomites got to go through having injections just to have melanin.
Good night, our next guest. Are your hearts? You alright?
Yeah, fine.
Good. She began life in Germany as a light-skinned blonde girl, making headlines around the world when she had injections to change the colour of her skin.
Over the past 2 years, Martina Big has radically altered her appearance in order to become a black woman. And this morning has followed every step of her controversial story.
When I was younger, I admired the curves of Pamela Anderson. My next step is going to pump up my lips also. My eye color has changed, my eyebrow color has changed, and I can feel in myself that I'm changing to a black woman. I like the curves of black women, and I...
She looks terrible, man. You can tell that's still a damn Edomite. But the thing is, man, Jake, you need to understand. Here it is, your oppressor, Esau Edom, want to be like you and try to have melanin, and you want to go and try to be like your oppressor and have no melanin, Jake got to realize, like, man, you are blessed walking, man. You can walk in the sun without having to get burnt and having a chance to get in the skin cancer, man. But nah, Jake want to be like Edomite, man. What you got, brother?
Proverbs 3:31.
Dang. You said Proverbs 3:1?
3:30.
Okay. Go ahead.
And it reads, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Right? So you're supposed to envy the oppressor. Right? Because you got a lot of our women particularly that want straight hair like a Edomite woman. They want blue eyes. They put different colored contacts in their eyes. Okay? They buying the skin bleach cream. You know, to lighten their skin so they can look more like an Edomite woman. But really, it's the total opposite. Like, you should love that your hair has a curl to it.
Yeah.
Which, you know, a lot of Edomites, they jealous, so they always talk about our hair. Oh, you just nappy this and nappy that. Because Jake do got a nappy ass hair, because, you know, Jake got demons on him, got funky ass dreads and stuff like that. But, hey, Esau would love to have hair like an Israelite. You know, they even told me in my job, they like man, like I wish I had an afro, just like yours. You know, I would love that. Right? Mm-hmm. They want to be you. You know. Mm-hmm. But Jake just don't see it that way, because Jake just been so beat down in society, and Jake been losing for the last 400 years. So Jake just think that that's the way to be like Esau Edom, but not. It's not the way.
Yep, that's right. That's why the Lord said, choose none of his ways, man. Choose none of his ways, because none of the ways of these heathens are right. Here it is, the Lord created the Israelites to be an upright and righteous people. And Jake just go off and just be like, know what? This ain't right, man. I gotta look like you. If I look like you, I can make it in this society. But you just destroying yourself.
You see Jakes from the 40s and 50s and 60s putting relaxers in their hair to look more like Esau, got a shaved face. Those are not our customs. Okay? Because you Jakes out there, you can't do what Esau Edom does. When he shaved his face, Esau Edom can shave his face dry, it'd be okay. You shave your face dry, with a razor, you bump up like crazy. Okay?
Got some.
Yeah, I got a precept. This is I'd like to take you to the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 7. Right? And this is in reference to that the Mormon video where it was talking about that the so-called black man were first white people and were punished by being turned into black people. Okay? And that's simply not the truth. Okay? Because in the book of John 14, chapter 7, it says, if ye had known me, you should have known my Father also. And from henceforth ye know him and have seen him. So Yahweh Shai was like, okay, you've been with me all this time. So this is how my Father is. Okay? And this is how my Father looked, because you see me. And how do we know that? So if we go to the book of Revelations, okay, chapter 1, the 13th through the 15th verse, it gives a description of Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Shai just said here in John 14 and 7 says, if you see me, you see my Father. Okay? Right. So what the hell are they talking about? Okay, black people, so-called black people, are punished because they're black. Okay? Like as the lesson went into. Okay? The original people, okay, the Israelites, okay, are people that have melanin in their skin. Yeah. And Yahweh Shai even goes further to let you know the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, is what you would call a so-called black man, okay? So that just cuts that whole narrative of what the Book of Mormon was talking about, okay? Because we know, okay, pursuant to Hebrews chapter 7 and 14, that Yahweh Shai come out of the tribe of Judah, okay? And that's part of the southern kingdom, okay? Which are your so-called, what you would call today your so-called blacks and so-called Negroes or African Americans or what other kind of label Esau want to put on us. But they're Israelites, okay? And not all dark people, colored people are Israelites, okay? Because you also have what you call Hamites, which are the African tribes, okay? The Hamites, okay? But I just wanted to point that out that, you know, that clip of the Book of Mormons on that particular cartoon or whatever, they, you know, not that you expect Esau to tell the truth, but they're going off, okay? And furthermore, if I may, you go to the book of 2 Thessalonians, right? Okay, and this is on book of 2 Thessalonians is also on the spiritual side of things. 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 4, okay? This also goes into the video, right? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4 says, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called God. So here's the thing, right? According to the scriptures, the Israelite man, okay, was made in the image after Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, right? But nowadays, okay, you have the Edomite man who try to make himself as God, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called God, okay? And if you go back to Job 9 and 24, right, it talks about the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, okay? He changes the faces of the judges thereof, okay? But back to the 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4 says, or that is worship so that so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So on the spiritual side, right, Esau tried to, well, on the carnal side, he tried to portray himself to be God. That's how you know, okay, that he's the wicked and that he has the mark of Cain, that jealousy, okay, that was produced against Abel, okay. So I just wanted to go on that on the carnal side of how Esau is. You know, he's jealous. He tried to portray himself as God. He changes the faces of the judges, okay. That's how you know that he has that mark of Cain.
Con. You know, and once again, you know, for you Akim and Aquathium that's out there, you know, that's dealing with that, you know, not having that melanin, don't feel ashamed, you know, because at the end of the day, as long as you know that you're an Israelite, you know, you come from one of the tribes, you know, you know, your brothers, you know, doing the work, hey man, keep doing the work, you know, because hey, when you come back in the kingdom, you know, you're gonna have that back. You know, don't let this deter you, you know, and make you feel like, man, I don't know, man. And no, because at the end of the day, you got terrorists that look like so-called Israelites, and the whole time they're not. Okay. So yeah, any brothers got any?
I just wanted to quickly go back to what you said. It's not a scripture talking about our beards. Okay? And brother also mentioned it about us shaving, you know, trying to take on some of Esau's ways with that shaved face. But you know that you break out with bumps. All right, and that technical term for razor bumps is called pseudofliculitis. All right, and it's a medical term for razor bumps on the face. It's called PFD, also known as pseudofliculitis of the beard. PFD is a common skin condition that occurs when shaving hairs curve back into the skin and cause inflammation. Remember, we were struck with inflammation in part of the curses. All right, it's more likely to happen in people with curly hair. It can also affect some quote-unquote white men and black women. So by chance, like the brother's saying, just because you may be fair skinned does not exclude you, because you may look like one of the other nations. And there are, as it says, white men that still have that condition disobedient. So potentially, that's going into maybe a scattered Israelite form. You know what I mean? But just to give the technical term for that, which shows that we're not supposed to be shaving.
That's right. God, man, and the Lord touch on all spectrum, going even to the animal kingdom, animals don't mess with an animal that have albinoism, man. They see that, they be like, man, we ain't fucking with you. There's something wrong with you. So it's the same thing with you Edomites, man. There's something off about y'all. And look how the state of the world is with y'all in powership right now, man. The world is being destroyed because of you devils. But soon the Lord is going to take you devils out of that power seat, and the true image, of a man is going to be displayed in the kingdom. Because right now we don't have that right now, okay? Because our women flocking to you, which we don't understand why they flock to a man that has leprosy, but because you have the power. But at the end of the day, we know that you and Keisha gonna fall together, so hey, that's all I got. Brothers got any closing statements. So with that, we're gonna give our honor and glory and praise due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash. To next class lesson, to next time, Shalom.